Have you ever been sitting at home alone when suddenly something didn't feel quite right? Maybe it was a tightness in your chest, or a strange pain in your arm, or even just a wave of dizziness that made the room spin for a moment. You might have brushed it off, thinking, "I'm just tired," or "maybe I skipped a meal." But deep down, you wondered, what if this is something serious? What if it's a heart attack, and no one else is here? That's a scary thought. And unfortunately, it's a real risk, especially after age 60. But here's the good news, you don't have to feel helpless. There are things you can do, even if you're completely alone, that could save your life. In fact, there are 7 powerful actions, simple, practical steps, that can give you the best chance of surviving a heart attack on your own. And no, you don't need to be a doctor or a marathon runner. These tips are for real people, people like you and me, who just want to live a longer, healthier life and enjoy our time with the people we love. So let's talk about what really happens during a heart attack. It's not always like in the movies. It's not always someone clutching their chest and falling to the floor. For many people, especially seniors, the signs can be subtle: shortness of breath, pressure in the center of the chest, pain in the jaw, neck, or back, or even nausea and cold sweats. Sometimes it feels like indigestion or extreme fatigue. That's why the first key to survival is knowing your body and paying attention to what feels off. And that brings us to the very first life-saving tip: don't wait. If you even suspect you're having a heart attack, don't try to tough it out. Don't say, "Let me just sit down for a few minutes," or "I'll see how I feel after dinner." Time is everything. The longer your heart goes without oxygen, the more damage is done. Every second counts. If you're alone and you feel those warning signs, chest pain, tightness, trouble breathing, or just a strong sense that something's not right, call emergency services immediately. Don't call a friend first, don't look it up online, and definitely don't try to drive yourself unless there's absolutely no other option. Just call. Now, let's say you've made the call. You're waiting for help. What can you do in those minutes that feel like hours? This leads us to the second tip: stay calm, stay still, and sit upright. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. When you panic, your heart races faster, your blood pressure shoots up, and your body goes into stress mode. That makes the situation worse. So the best thing you can do is to slow everything down. Sit in a chair or prop yourself up on the couch, don't lie flat. Keep your back supported and your knees bent. This position helps reduce the strain on your heart. Then focus on your breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose, hold it for a second or two, and exhale gently through your mouth. Even just 5 or 6 deep breaths can help lower your heart rate and ease the pain a bit while you wait. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep your body as calm and still as possible until help arrives. And if you're thinking, "Well, I wouldn't be able to stay calm in a moment like that," trust me, you can. You've lived through a lot. You've raised children, worked hard, faced illness and loss and change. You already have the strength. What we're doing now is giving that strength a plan. A way to act, even in a crisis. A way to survive, not just by luck, but by choice. Now I know some folks might wonder, but what if I don't have a phone near me? What if I fall or can't get up? These are important questions, and that's why preparing ahead of time is just as critical as what you do in the moment. It's not about being fearful, it's about being ready. And being ready means thinking through those what-ifs before they happen. But for now, if you remember just these 2 things, call for help at the first sign of trouble, and sit upright and stay calm while waiting, that alone can double your chances of survival. It's that important. Let's keep going. There's more we can do, and the next step might surprise you. Watching and feel that these insights are meaningful. Please type number 2 in the comments to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so, and don't forget to turn on the bell, so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos designed to uplift, inform, and inspire. Your support truly means a lot. It's what keeps us going and allows us to continue sharing thoughtful, helpful content just for you. Now, let's continue this journey together. The hidden clues in your lifestyle, signs 3 and 4. We've already talked about how your walking speed and grip strength might be silent predictors of your longevity. But now, let's look deeper into the habits you may not think twice about, but that can speak volumes about your future health. Sign number 3, your social connections. Are you nurturing or neglecting them? Here's a powerful truth: loneliness is as dangerous to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Yes, you heard that right. Studies from Harvard, Stanford, and the World Health Organization have all reached the same conclusion: your relationships, especially after 70, are one of the strongest predictors of how long and how well you'll live. Think about it. When was the last time you had a good laugh with a friend? Or a meaningful conversation with a neighbor? Or even a phone call that made you feel truly seen and heard? Researchers call this the social determinant of health. When you're socially connected, whether to friends, family, or community, you're more likely to stay mentally sharp, physically active, and emotionally balanced. But when those connections fade, your risk of depression, heart disease, cognitive decline, and even early death goes up significantly. Here's something even more interesting: it's not about having a big social circle. It's about the quality of your connections. One close friend who genuinely cares about you can be more protective than a dozen shallow relationships. If you've been feeling isolated lately, it's never too late to turn it around. Call someone you trust. Join a local club. Say yes to that invitation. Or simply walk outside and say hello to a neighbor. That one small act could be adding years to your life. Because when it comes to longevity, relationships aren't just nice to have, they're vital medicine. Sign number 4, your sleep quality. Are you resting or just lying down? Let's talk about sleep. Not just how long you're in bed, but how well you're sleeping. Sleep is like the body's nightly repair shop. While you rest, your immune system resets, your brain clears out toxins, and your cells regenerate. But if your sleep is shallow, broken, or constantly interrupted, those processes don't happen the way they should. And that has big consequences. According to a 25-year study from the University of California, seniors who consistently got high-quality sleep lived significantly longer and had lower rates of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and even cancer. But here's what's surprising: it's not about sleeping more, it's about sleeping better. You might be in bed for 8 hours, but if you're tossing and turning, waking up repeatedly, or feeling exhausted in the morning, that's not quality sleep. So how do you know if your sleep is helping or hurting your longevity? Ask yourself. Do you wake up feeling refreshed? Can you fall asleep within 30 minutes? Do you sleep through the night without needing to get up more than once? If the answer to those is yes, you're on the right track. But if not, here are a few changes that could make a world of difference. Avoid screens an hour before bed, they mess with your melatonin. Keep your bedroom cool and quiet. Between 60 to 67 degrees Fahrenheit is ideal. Have a wind-down routine, gentle stretching, soft music, or even reading something calming. Cut caffeine after 2 p.m. and limit alcohol, it disrupts deep sleep cycles. Even better? Studies show that people who improve their sleep in their 70s can still reduce their risk of chronic disease and live longer. It's never too late. Your body heals best when you sleep. So tonight, give yourself permission to rest deeply. It might be the most important gift you give your future self. The final 3 signs that silently predict your lifespan. We've explored walking speed, grip strength, your social life, and the power of sleep. Now, let's dive into the final 3 clues, some of the most surprising, and perhaps the most fixable. Sign number 5, your optimism. Do you still expect good things? Here's a question that could predict how long you'll live. When you think about your future, do you mostly expect good things or bad things? If you lean toward good, congratulations, your mindset may be protecting your health more than you realize. Harvard researchers followed over 70,000 people for more than a decade and found that those who identified as optimistic lived 11 to 15% longer and were significantly more likely to reach age 85 and beyond. And get this, that effect remained even after adjusting for things like income, chronic illness, and smoking. In other words, it wasn't just about lifestyle. It was about outlook. Why does this matter so much? Because optimism lowers stress hormones like cortisol. It encourages better coping strategies, more physical activity, and stronger immunity. Optimists are more likely to follow their doctor's advice, maintain friendships, and keep hope alive, even when challenges hit. So if you catch yourself always bracing for the worst, it might be time for a mindset tune-up. Start small. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each day. Surround yourself with positive people. Practice imagining the best possible outcome, not just the worst. Optimism isn't pretending everything is perfect. It's believing that you can handle what comes, and that life still has beautiful things ahead. And that belief alone? It might just help you get there. Sign number 6, your recovery time. How quickly do you bounce back? Here's one most people overlook. How quickly do you recover from life setbacks, both physical and emotional? Doctors call this resilience, and it turns out to be a powerful indicator of healthy aging. Let's look at physical recovery first. If you have a fall, surgery, or illness, do you bounce back in a few weeks, or does it knock you down for months? Studies show that seniors with faster recovery times tend to live longer. Their bodies handle stress better, their immune systems stay stronger, and they're less likely to spiral into long-term disability. But emotional resilience matters too. Say you lose a friend, face a financial setback, or deal with unexpected change. Do you stay stuck in the pain, or do you eventually find your footing again? People who recover emotionally, who adapt, reach out for support, and keep moving, live longer, fuller lives. Not because they avoid pain, but because they navigate it. Here's the secret: resilience isn't something you're born with. It's a skill you can build. You build it by moving your body every day, even just a walk. Taking care of your sleep and nutrition. Reaching out instead of withdrawing. Reminding yourself, this is hard, but I've survived hard things before. The more you practice bouncing back, the easier it gets. And your body, and your future, thank you for it. Sign number 7, your purpose. Do you still feel needed? And finally, perhaps the most beautiful predictor of all, purpose. Do you feel like you still matter? That someone still needs you? That you have something to wake up for? People who say yes to those questions tend to live longer, and with more joy. In a groundbreaking study from the University of Michigan, adults over 70 who said they had a strong sense of purpose had a lower risk of death over the next 5 years than those who didn't. And that remained true even after accounting for things like income, health, and education. Purpose fuels action. It keeps your mind sharp, your body engaged, and your spirit alive. It doesn't have to be a career or a big mission. It could be a garden, a grandchild, a neighbor who needs you, or even a dog that depends on your daily walk. One woman I spoke with, 83 years old, told me, "Every morning I get up and write one encouraging letter. Sometimes to my niece. Sometimes to a stranger. It makes me feel alive." That's purpose. It doesn't need to impress anyone. It just needs to mean something to you. If you've lost your sense of purpose, start by asking, what do I love doing that helps someone else? Who benefits when I show up? What small act could I do today that would make a difference? Because when you feel needed, you fight harder to stay and thrive in this world. Final thoughts, what these 7 signs are really telling you. Let's recap briefly. Walking speed, how fast you move matters. Grip strength, small hands, big insights. Social connection, people keep you alive. Sleep quality, it's not just rest, it's repair. Optimism, mindset is medicine. Recovery time, how fast you bounce back counts. Purpose, feeling needed fuels longevity. These are not guesses. These are scientifically backed predictors that are already inside you. And here's the empowering part. Most of them are changeable. You can strengthen your grip, walk a little faster, call a friend, sleep better, change your thoughts, bounce back stronger, and reconnect with your purpose. Because aging isn't about decline. It's about discovery. It's not about how many birthdays you've had, it's about what you do with the ones ahead. So take these signs, not as warnings, but as invitations. Your next chapter can be the strongest, most alive, and most purposeful one yet. And I'll be right here, cheering you on. Thank you for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned from this video and how you plan to apply it in your life. Your insights mean a lot to us and give us the motivation to keep spreading positivity and practical advice. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support truly helps us continue creating meaningful content that informs, inspires, and uplifts. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.